Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. Today is Tuesday, August 5th, and we are so glad that you're back here with us in your place for helpful crypto news, commentary, and answers to all your questions. Everything from what is Bitcoin to where will it go to who is Gary Gensler to will he ever come back? I hope not. This is your place for it. And we got a big announcement because the Circle community is officially live.
Yay!
Woo-hoo. I'm so glad for it. It's been a long time coming. And we just sent out the invitations. If you're hearing my voice now and you are currently a member of the Discord community at the free level, at the premium level, then you should have seen an email. You should have seen an announcement. And if you didn't see one, then wherever you are, whenever you listen, there will be a link in the description. The website is community.rumshq.com. And you'll also notice that the Rise Up Morning Show is the same great website, now with that new URL taste. We've aligned ourselves with Rums HQ. We've shortened it. No more the riseupmorningshow.com. Now you just got to remember Rums, RUMSHQ.com. If you don't see our website, that's why. All the same stuff. New link. Rums HQ and community.rumshq.com. We'll get to it in a minute. We're going to check it out, give it a little looky-loo, and show you how you can get over there in case you're curious, in case you're confused. It's a place built just for you. Kenneth Chisholm is feeling like me. He says, good morning. I still have sleep in my eyes. Whew, talk about it. How you guys doing today?
Good. It's just like a weird week for me, but I'm just kind of getting through it. But I'm heading up to Maine today to go and spend time with my dad before his birthday this weekend. It's his 83rd birthday. And my brother and his girlfriend, who I've never met outside of Tampa, and I haven't seen my brother in 3 years, he is flying up to hang out, and so that's gonna be a blast. And then my other brother from Miami is also flying up with his less than 1 year old German Shepherd puppy Axel, and he's gonna meet Maverick, the family dog, who's also a 111-pound German Shepherd. However, Maverick is very jealous and a little baby, and he's gonna be a little freaking brat for sure about sharing us with Axel. And he's definitely going to bite him a couple times. So we'll see how things go. They'll have a few dog talks, and they'll get things sorted. And, so I'm very curious to see how that goes. And unfortunately, and then we'll be sending text messages to my oldest brother, who won't be able to join us, about all of us having fun and smoking cigars together. So that'll be great.
Eddie says in the comments, so it'll be Will, and Will.
It will.
It will be a lot of Wills.
It will be a lot of Williams.
Yeah, a lot of Wills. Stolem said, happy birthday to your dad. And Ethicalish, our friend, said, is Alex wearing pants?
No.
And I said, God, I hope so.
Oh, man, his shorts are so short all the time in any public setting.
Actually, these shorts are pretty long. These are Costco shorts. They're not.
Yes, of course.
Shorts.
Those classic
Alex's definition of
Costco
long shorts is
I have pants on. Let me go.
I would not have guessed that.
All right.
a full suit and a full Satoshi in his pocket.
Evan, this is not a suit. This is a
I guess not. It's not matching fabric.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Polymarket would approve. And Alex has also got his Jonathan Taylor Thomas hair out. He's looking glorious today.
I'm glad that is what comes across because I feel like I got hit by a truck.
Yeah. We're all a little tired this morning. There's something in the water. I don't know.
You know what? I got pretty good sleep because I'm sick. And
you get good sleep because you're sick? That happens to you?
No, I'm sorry. What I phrased that weird. What I meant was I actually slept longer than normal, trying to stock up a little bit because I'm sick.
So you got 5 hours instead of 3?
4 3/4.
Oh, nice.
A full night.
A full night.
Yeah, the audience is loving the Jonathan Taylor Thomas look.
Well, good. I'm glad. It's good because every word hurts. So I'm mostly just going to stand here and look lovingly at Will and Evan as they carry me through this episode of the show.
And as I open a Legends pack of Pokemon on Courtyard.io.
There we go. Okay. Yeah.
Will, did you ever get? Did you in fact? I know you got a little. You ripped a pack one day and got a Jigglypuff. Was that in fact a Legends pack?
No, that was just a starter pack. I just wanted to see if my KYC worked.
Got it.
Because I couldn't transact, so I just sent the CEO a note and was like, "Hey, buddy, can you help me out, Nico?" Nico was like, "Yeah, bro, got you."
That's exactly how it went.
Hell yeah.
Before we do that, I also do have a tiny announcement. I told you guys, but this is cool. Head of product from the old Coinbase reached out, and we got accepted to the alpha for Coinbase Business. Which
all right.
Now tell me why that matters.
Okay, so I'm glad you asked. I have it right here.
Tell me why.
Did we also get accepted to the alpha for Coinbase's new Bitcoin rewards credit card? And can we work on that next?
I'll work on that next. Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, that'd be a sponsorship that would make sense.
I would love
so
it.
the biggest is for payments. It's the ability for a business account to accept payment in USDC and to pay out in USDC.
Ooh, okay. That's
without
nice.
No fees, without having to. Yeah, it's honestly right there. I'm like, there is a features list, but when they were like, "Why do you want this?" I was like, literally, that's what I want, because mostly we get paid in USDC, and mostly I want to keep it there. But the process to, deal with it is just a little bit. It's either kind of clunky, and we sort of have to third party this whole thing. It's very hard to do it like official in a nice place. If I just want like my tax report generated for me by some platform, that kind of stuff, that'd be super cool. And so this has come out. You can earn rewards on the USDC as you hold it in that account. So 4.1% APY paid out to you on held USDC.
Nice.
You can automate it. You're allowed to then use the account like for the business to also diversify and hold other kinds of crypto. If you want to like easily put Bitcoin on your small business balance sheet, you can do that with the same exact place, which is pretty sweet. Can automate the whole thing, pay globally anywhere, and then you can trade inside of the whole thing. I'm not so much into that whole part, but the payments and the diversification is pretty sweet.
Yeah,
it's just okay. It's nothing that we can't really do right now, but it's more streamlined in one place, and we can earn yield on the USDC at the same time, which is win-win-win.
Alex, do you have a link to this for people who also want to sign up and get on the alpha?
Absolutely. The only thing you can do right now is join a wait list, but it's just coinbase.com/business because they kill it with the URLs.
Coinbase.com/business. Tori said, as soon as we get in, we got to bump her up the list. And Jay Heat said, yeah, for real, me too. So we'll check it out. We'll let you know how it is, and we'll be sure to share lots of it. And then we'll let everybody over at Coinbase know that all our friends over here want to give them some business.
Yeah, if you go to Coinbase, actually here, what am I doing? Wow, that's how out of it I am. Here you go.
We have the power.
We have the power.
We have.
And while Alex readies the screen share, let me remind you that if you've got a question wherever you are, whenever you listen, you can leave it below by adding a comment. If you're on a podcast platform, the other thing you can do, instead of commenting, you could leave us a review and like us. Really, really like us. That's a big help. But if you had a question and you left it in a review, I wouldn't be mad, and we would answer it. Okay, so we're looking at coinbase.com/business.
Mm-hmm. So big blue button right at the top, join the wait list. And then I think that if you look up the Coinbase Business Twitter account, I think they have a post where you can like leave a comment with your, the fact that you want to use it for XYZ, whatever, what your reason is, or yada, yada. Leave a comment there. That's what I did. I joined the wait list and I left a comment. And then I also, because I'm persistent, found Sid, who's the head of product, and followed him and left him a comment. And there we go. The rest is history. But here's where you can sign up for the waitlist, and then just leave a comment on their, I think they have a pinned Twitter tweet where you can leave your reason, what you're excited about or whatever, and then they'll start grabbing people.
One of those tweeters.
But I'll put in a good word.
Sick.
A good word with Coinbase. Did you see their new bear commercial?
Mm-mm.
No.
They have this cute claymation commercial. It's like Gumby style claymation with these two bears who are sitting around a campsite. And it sounds like the audio is taken from a conversation between, like, I don't know, two everyday consumers, probably like a middle-aged husband and wife, talking about how potato chips now have more air and less chips in the bag, and they call it shrinkflation. And it is a really cute little claymation video, and I think they totally nail it until the part at the end when they like end the claymation and go to the commercial where it's like Coinbase fixes this or whatever, Bitcoin is the future, whatever their thing is, like white background, Coinbase looking text. And I don't know who is in charge of content there, but they do such a great job of making commercials, of making content when they're like on their game, or even honestly, some of the content creators they partner with are great. I wish they didn't make every single piece of content a commercial. Like, guys, it's totally enough to post a great meme from your account is the commercial. You know what I mean? Like I don't know about you guys, but the second I see a commercial at the end, even if it's just like click here to learn more, I'm like, oh, I scroll. I just want.
Yeah, there's a little bit of me that's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
like Nutter Butter's not doing that. Look at them. You're not Nutter Butter, Coinbase. Don't do what they do. But
Coinbase takes that to heart, starts making, shitty
Brian
but
Armstrong-
delicious chocolate peanut butter candy.
shitty.
have you seen their social media account, Nutter Butter?
The most unhinged thing,
Dude,
you've
it's
ever.
it's like, it looks like, I think
It's
the number
unhinged.
one comment is always like, bro, are you okay?
Yeah.
It looks like
Nice.
What are you doing to this
weird-
intern? Stuff like that.
Yeah, like a psychedelic, fever dream.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's an acid trip.
like
Every
it.
video is an acid trip.
I love
yeah,
that.
it's terrifying, and it has absolutely nothing to do with Nutter Butters, except sometimes they feature like cookies or their characters, and it's genius. It would not work for every brand, but it would definitely work for like a legacy brand, an established brand, or the Bears thing, the claymation thing. It's like the Pudgy Penguins playbook, but the difference is Pudgy Penguins are like, here's a cartoon about some penguins, and if you have to click through their profile, then you can find the Pudgy Penguins. Coinbase is like, here's some bears brought to you by Coinbase. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. We love
No,
it.
I mean, I
they're
think
doing
you're-
better. They're doing better than crypto.com.
Oh my
Well,
God.
what's that really saying though? At the end of the day,
It's something.
actually, I will say that the last time I saw a crypto.com commercial, so good job, guys. You're getting a little better. The first one was awful. The sound wasn't synced up. The sound effects of like the like cash register sounds that they overlaid on the video were so loud that every time they played, it cut out the voice that was like saying the line, which was very clearly AI. But now it's just kind of like a generally bad commercial. But at least they fixed like the sound issue to where you couldn't hear anything except that one sound effect.
Well, that's something.
It's something.
That's something.
We got a
Yeah,
question
that's
from Kenneth Chisholm, who still has sleep in his eyes, and says, "Hey, are you guys familiar with Fold Visa debit card?" Hey, Kenneth, I have one, and it earns you sats every time you use it. Plus, you can get bonus sats when you use it for certain purchases. Little bits of Bitcoin for purchases. Alex, you were nodding your head. Tell me more.
Yeah, I don't have one, but I'm familiar with Fold. That was one of the, if I'm not mistaken, that's one of the like OG cards. I've heard
sounds
about that one
familiar
for a
to me.
hot minute. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. This is a new one for me.
that one's been around for at least a minute. How long have you had it, Kenneth?
And while we wait
And
for
I guess
Kenneth to
what's your? I'd be curious what the experience is using it. If it's any kind of like worthwhile, or if you know what the rate is, or any of that kind of stuff.
It's a prepaid debit card that earns you rewards up to 1% back in Bitcoin on every purchase. They've got an app where you can get spins for bonus Satoshis up to 100% back, gift cards, etc. And Premium Fold Plus members can get higher base rewards, presumably by putting more money onto the card. I would imagine it's $10 a month or $100 a year for enhanced rewards. And it compares to other crypto debit cards, like, Coinbase has a card, Gemini has a credit card, crypto.com is probably the most notable one. The Coinbase debit card, I know they do up to 4% in some other crypto, but it's 1% in BTC. There's no annual fee. I don't know about you guys, but I've never been a fan of the debit cards just because I don't like spending my own money versus other people's money when I can pay it back. and I don't want to spend my crypto personally.
There's
Yeah, it's not for me.
definitely conflicting thoughts on debit versus credit. On one hand, I think that it kind of depends on, I think it depends on your situation. I think if you have like a handle and a budget and a plan and all that sort of stuff, and you are purposefully leveraging a specific set of rewards on a specific credit card that makes sense for your spending and buying habits, then that could be better. But I also think that credit cards obviously can get away from you. There's a tremendous amount of outstanding credit card debt all over the place. Not ideal. And from like a managing budget perspective, it can make a lot more sense just to spend money that you know you have instead of having to worry about carrying a balance and all that sort of stuff. I can totally see the case on either side. I was credit only for a very long time, or debit only, excuse me, for a very long time, just because I didn't really feel like I had a good handle on money management, and then got a very specific credit card, like, you know, to take advantage of one type of reward. And now that makes more sense. But the Bitcoin credit card from Coinbase, which is the Amex collab, not out yet. That one is up to 4% in Bitcoin, depending.
It's a minimum
on
of
your
2%.
Yeah, depending on your Coinbase account balance. And if it's Amex, that's probably a charge. I know they run credit, but most Amex are charge cards.
Jesus is Lord 777 says, I love Coinbase debit. And Mr. Robot Stecklerish says 4% of Crow on the crypto.com card, but the card doesn't work everywhere.
And also
Kenneth says about his Fold card, I'm liking it. I've already got $110 in sats.
Sweet.
Way to go. That's pretty
Yeah,
killer.
dude. I mean,
Anything
hey,
you can do.
free Satoshis, pretty great. Free.
Yeah,
Gonna spend that money anyway. Might as well get some Satoshis.
might as well get it. Bearded says, waiting for Costco to start selling BTC and ETH. Alex, can you work on that?
Yeah, I'll call Costco. Dude, imagine a Bitcoin ATM in every Costco. Be killer.
Just people buying gold, selling it, and then going back to the Bitcoin ATM to buy Bitcoin, doing like the Costco Bitcoin to gold arbitrage.
Eating a $1.50 hot dog.
Yep.
Dude, hell yeah. Yeah, that sounds like something Doug would be doing. The prices on the can, the prices on the bun.
Yeah.
I know. We do have another question here for Will. The Rocketeer wants to know, Will, what was your entry on virtuals? You mentioned it a couple weeks ago for listeners who aren't savvy because it was looking like it might have a bullish breakout.
I don't even know what my average buy position is right now. I had some buys at 214, and then I buy some from 185 to 136, and then I haven't touched any since then. So like my position's down. I could probably buy some more here, but you know I'm in an underwater position on virtuals, but I feel like I'm totally fine in it eventually. I just got to be patient. The reason why I'm confident in it is AI agents are still super hot. AI is super hot. Virtuals protocols in Base's ecosystem is super hot. Ethereum is also going to be charging out the gate eventually again too. And we're looking at potentially some good signs for Ethereum right now too. And you know, as the price of Ethereum goes up, it'll help the Ethereum ecosystem. Virtuals protocols in that, has the other things going for it, yada, 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 yada. Also, one day Coinbase is going to list that thing finally. And so I see virtuals protocol as a good coin to DCA into.
Are people still using it the way that they were? And if they're talking about it, is it new people talking about it, or is it old holders talking about it?
I have no idea, and I have no idea.
Got it.
Well, good are you?
Those are always my two questions about stuff like that. I feel like virtuals was a first mover in the AI agents paired with crypto tokens, and definitely has a lot of mind share. But I always am curious with stuff that has mind share or stuff that had users. What's the trend look like for people using it over time, especially as more stuff, AI, XBT, et cetera, has emerged, and as the narrative has kind of like cooled off? You know, now that GPT's got agent mode, do we really need an agent that's probably not as performant with a crypto token attached? And I feel like the answer
is no, of course not.
No. So
Yeah,
then that's why my question always becomes like, okay, totally fine. We can still make money on it. But a lot of these tokens, you know, that pump and catch attention, they have a hard time maintaining the pump, catching new attention. I was talking to somebody about pin link in the Discord server. And that was an example of what I said, I honestly don't know about it. You know, they raised money, spent that money on influencers, and boy, was it effective. I don't know if they've built anything substantive, and I don't know if they've maintained the hype or if they're like ready to release a new wave of hype. That's always the trick though, is like, is the wave done? It's like riding a surfboard.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, for me, it's just Virtuals Protocol is one of those coins that when it pops up again, everyone starts talking about it and everyone dives in, and then you have your opportunity to make money. You know, it's at this point of the bull market, I don't care about fundamental adoption in terms of what I'm going to invest in. I just care about if it has mind share and if there's a good setup. Right now, the setup on Virtuals chart isn't the best, but if it can get above, if we're to go upwards right now, $1.28. And then it could finally clear $1.45, you'd start to have some fireworks.
Fireworks, baby. Since you mentioned long ETH, I wanted to ask you if you unpacked it a little on the show. I'm sure you talked a little about it on Market Watch, but one of the things I was saying behind the scenes before we went live was it seems like we're at an interesting point in the markets where yesterday 9 different spot Ether ETFs recorded total net outflows of almost 500 million. This is the largest on record after a drawdown Friday, which was after like 2 weeks of big time inflows. And I was saying
500
to Will,
million, that's not accurate.
500 million total net outflows?
It was $100 million.
On Monday, 9 spot Ether ETFs recorded total net outflows of $465 million is the note that I have here, according to
Nope.
Value.
Nope. Incorrect. If you go to ETH Farsight, it was only like $125 million on Monday.
Check this out. Let's have a battle between the screen shares. I'm looking at Soso Value's Ethereum.
Oh, wait, sorry. Wait, today's Tuesday. So it was 465. Yep.
I rounded up to 500, but I feel like if you're at 465
I was
million,
thinking Friday. I was thinking Friday when it sold 152.
Right. That's what I said. I said 152 Friday, 465 yesterday, following some pretty substantial inflows in the previous weeks. And Bitcoin ETFs also saw some big outflows, about 330 million after 800 million Friday. So institutional capital or people who are buying the ETFs are not as excited as the crypto native market. And I was just curious if you guys had been, kind of observing that, if maybe now that the ETFs are introduced, what your thoughts were about how, our assets that we know and love would move now that a significant part of the money holding them up is in products like an ETF in the hands of people like, institutional investors who are a little less risk on than crypto folks tend to be.
So first of all, institutional investors aren't buying the ETF products. It's retail investors. This entire past year, since the beginning of this year, institutional investors have been net selling every single month, while retail investors have been net buying at record-breaking levels. And when I say record-breaking levels, I mean like if the top of the Empire State Building was the previous record for the level of retail buying that we've had in the past, we're on the moon now. It's that extreme of a record break. So institutional investors aren't buying ETFs right now. It's retail. It's large retail investors. So it's a very interesting market in that sense. But that will provide an answer to you as to why the ETF purchasers tend to be bad timing. And I've made videos in the past. It's been a while since I talked about it. But if you looked at the net inflows and net outflows of the ETF products for Bitcoin, they were really good at timing the market for the first 2 months of the ETF product because smart money was buying. And then you had retail just diving in and the buying got dumb. And now the timing of outflows and inflows on ETFs have been horrific since month 3 moving onwards for ETFs. So it's because it's retail. This is a retail market. So it makes sense that the ETFs are buying at bad times because, that's just the way it goes, right? You'd expect that from a retail investor crowd more so than the institutional investor crowd. Typically, you think they're smarter at making those decisions than the retail investors are. And that's why. So yeah, like ETFs have been buying and selling at bad, air quote, times in the market to do so. And if you look at the ETFs on Monday, like, $456 million of outflows, Ethereum was up 5% on the day, you know?
Yeah. So it's just an interesting sort of predicament that we're at that I don't think we've ever had to deal with before.
Well, I mean, not really. You know, it's the same. It's just at a bigger scale. It's just, it's, you have people buying at the air quotes wrong time, you know, just at a bigger scale. Like that's how the market's always worked. That's how every market's always worked, right? And now with the ETF products, a lot of the Ethereum that they're buying, a lot of the Bitcoin they're buying is on over the counter. It's OTC. So it has less of a direct impact on the market. So actually there's a buffer. When ETFs sell, there's a little bit of an OTC buffer on its impact on the market, as compared to in the past, you would have had that have an immediate effect on the market because it would have been all spot. So like, it's really not that different. It's different in a little bit, but in reality, like it's just more of the same at a bigger scale, in my opinion. You know?
No. I think you're right. I would push back on the idea that they're not necessarily. Maybe the recent flows are not institutions because institutions don't move as fast. But I remember when the ETFs were first kind of launched, the IBIT Fidelity's ETF that they had. They had billions of dollars of inflows in their months, and
yes,
I just don't think those kind of numbers happen with retail alone.
No, you had a lot of hedge funds buying. You have a lot of hedge funds buying and selling here. You have you do have institutions going in and buying, but if you look at the market as a whole and the ETF market as a whole, which is way more than just Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's net selling across the board, right? Obviously, you can have net buying in some areas too, but remember, at the beginning, you did have it did come out that some institutions were buying a lot of Bitcoin and Ethereum. But remember, the first 2 months the ETFs were out, they were doing great buys because it was institutions. And then the massive wave of retail money that has been just slamming the market in a very positive way has overpowered the amount of purchasing the institutions have. So the net buying and net selling that you see in the ETFs are largely skewed by an overwhelming majority of retail positions. So even if the institutions are buying and selling at the right time, we see the net outflows and net inflows, which are skewed by this astronomically large amount of retail money.
Got it. Okay. So
it's hiding how smart the institutions are in their purchases here.
Yeah. And of course, you mentioned OTC, and Kenneth Chisholm says OTC should be illegal, in my opinion. I think I mentioned it on the show, but I had always been hip to how institutional investors tend to say one thing publicly and do another thing privately. But I was not quite aware of the scale to which, entities like Goldman Sachs were decrying Bitcoin and buying it in massive size. And I really got a good education lesson from Lindsay and Larissa over at Seeking Alpha. Their most recent episode dives into the reasons you should be outraged that folks like Jamie Dimon were continuing to enrich themselves by buying off the order books over the counter, mostly while they said Bitcoin is just too risky in public. And I just didn't know how in they were. They were packing some heavy bags as far back as like 2018.
Classic.
I mean, they were leaking, or we got that leaked memo to their, larger, more high net worth clients. Were like, hey, you guys need to take a look at this Bitcoin thing. It's pretty sweet.
Phil says, just wait until you learn about how institutional investors manipulate markets by propping up price. Oh, the pit of despair. What do you guys think? We've had a couple of mentions about Circle in the community. Shout out to Jay Heat for reminding folks about the notification. Can I do a little screen share, a little looky-loo for the people who may not have seen it yet? Okay,
sure.
Cool. Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, monsters and machines, we are pleased to announce that our new and hopefully permanent forever home on Circle is here. We have been on Discord for a long time. It's the always free to join Rise Up educational community. It's the best place to share what you know, learn, grow, and we say rise up together. It's the place the show lives 24/7, but now we are moving that experience over to Circle. First, some questions. If you're already a member of the Rise Up Discord server, that's not going anywhere. We're just not going to be as active there, and we're going to be intentional about growing the Circle community. A lot of you have resources and relationships that you've cultivated there. You've got a long history in the chat, and we're not going to take that away from you. We're not just going to, set it on fire or anything. But we do want to be mindful about migrating to this new platform for some of the benefits, the perks, the easier and safer user experience that they offer over Discord. And I'm going to show you what that looks like now, because all of our links, wherever you find them on our website, at our bios, they have been updated to bring you there. And if you are already a member of the Discord server, then you have a notification waiting for you there with step-by-step instructions for how to sign up for, log into, and start enjoying Circle. And if you're a legacy premium member, like somebody who bought the OG $9.99 a month premium membership, you're in luck, because we made a little membership option for you so that you can port right over. You won't have to fuss with Patreon. You won't have to fuss with Discord. It'll be all in one place. You can easily sign up, swipe your credit card, do that stuff. And if you have problems or questions, I want to show you how you can get in touch with us. But first, just check this thing out. When you go to your invite link, or if you visit community.rumshq.com, then what you're going to see is this beautiful landing page. It drops you right off in a tab called Start Here. And I've got a step-by-step list that we've worked on together to give you all the info you need to know. You've got blue clickable links. This is going to be very familiar to you if you've used Discord before, to content, to channels. And you've got a sidebar that will help you navigate all the different stuff you'll see. In fact, I'm going to show you what I see when I'm logged in. When you log in for the first time, you'll be prompted to follow the instructions and Start Here. We'll show you exactly how to sign up if you're on desktop or if you're on mobile. And we've even got, be ready for the scroll, these handy dandy tutorials so that you can see how to join, how to use, how to get the most out of Circle, whether you're on a phone or a computer. But once you join the community, then it opens up and it looks just like a Discord server, but hopefully a little neater. You've got a beautiful little table of contents right here that'll take you all across channels. You've got the premium channels here. And for my folks in podcast land, this is an episode where you'll want to go to YouTube and check out the screen share. It's in the Rise Up Morning Show playlist. One of my favorite features is we've got this nice little navigation bar at the top of the page that will show you, for example, quick links to live events, courses. So if we add, for example, a new kind of workshop we're brainstorming with our friends at Matana, then you will find it here when it goes live. Links to digital products, links to help and support right there if you need it. And you've even got a little profile that you can adjust here. One of my favorite things about Circle is that it's got the ability to allow us to share a little more information safely than we would in Discord. Like, I put my social links in here. I can put a website in here. You can look at these little badges to verify that it's me. You're not going to have to deal with scammers and impersonators. Finally. And I just love it. And
that's the biggest reason why we made the shift is there were people in the Discord community who were getting scammed from people pretending to be us. And we're like, we got to try to stop this. And Circle has more security and verification.
Yeah, it's just not robust enough in terms of security for us. Now, instead of walking through every single feature, every single thing, I just want you to know that when you go to that Start Here tab after you join, it's going to have everything you need. It's going to drop you there by default. If you read the instructions, you will learn how to use this app better than I could showcase it on our live show. And we are going to have a live event or 2 or 3 where you can ask us questions about it. We can drive through it together. The live events are pretty cool because not only do you have events that can happen right in Circle, but once the event has happened, you can see recordings of events that were hosted inside Circle. Watch them anytime. Share them with your friends. It's a great way to make sure that the conversation continues even after it happens live. So check it out, community.rumshq.com, or the link sent to your email, sent to our Discord. If you've got questions about how to port your Patreon, port your Discord, if you've got questions about features, don't hesitate to ask. I will say my one complaint, and Will, I'm going to stop the screen share here in a second, is I do think Discord for now has a better mobile app.
It does have a better mobile app, yeah.
I expect Circle will make up a little bit of ground there, though. So thank you for trusting us while we were under construction. We're excited to get you guys in there. Mike says, you can't use roles in Discord. You can use roles in Discord. And in fact, I would say the roles are even a little more robust in Discord than they are here, but the onboarding experience is not as simple. And the ability to curate who is or is not in your community, who can pass a verification to manage members, is a lot better here.
Well,
so check it out, Mike.
The issue that we were having in Discord was actually really specific. And I took this to people at Discord. I took it to friends of mine who are very talented Discord server builders and engineers who have all sorts of custom tools and whatnot that they built. This is just a really hard thing to deal with. And because of the nature of who we host, a lot of people who are newer to this whole thing, who are like using a platform like Discord for the first time and just trying to learn, there were lurker accounts sitting in the Discord server that were just like totally normal. You would never catch them on a screener. They were totally normal accounts, and they would just sit there and scrape usernames from comments, from posts, from whatever, and send them out to accounts that were meant to look like us, that were not in the server, so we couldn't moderate or police any of it at all. They would have the three of us blocked, so we couldn't look them up or find them or ban anyone or anything. And then they would just start DM spamming. And if you have no clue what you're looking at, you've never looked at Discord before, you've never dealt with anything like this before, they look very convincing. It was just really hard to deal with. So we had to get away from that.
Yeah. Mike says he's surprised because most big projects he knows uses Discord, that this isn't more common. Yeah.
Most big projects that do use Discord, and they just don't care, or they are unaware.
The thing that they care about is that there's more users on Discord already than anywhere else. So they're like, well, we should use that then. Yep. And then they care about that more than the security, which as a business, I do understand. There's a give and take. But, we have a lot of new people who are also potentially older in age. And both those categories are higher risk of being scammed.
Just a lot of young Luddites like me, man. I'm struggling to keep up with the tech.
Fuck, I've been scammed before. I had an NFT scam back in the NFT craze.
And just the final note, just because I've seen a couple comments. If you need a minute, no worries. Discord server is not going away. I'm going to continue to check it every single day. I use Discord for a ton of stuff, so it's not going anywhere. We're just more purposely moving the community to Circle. But if you get lost or stuck or need help or whatever, and you're just like, I don't get it, whatever, just send me a message in Discord. That's not going away.
I personally, myself, just because all three of us, we only have so much bandwidth, I will be spending the overwhelming majority of my time in Circle. I won't be in Discord much.
That's fine.
I'll tell you, it's going to enable a much better learning together experience. One of the other reasons that I'm really excited about it is we got a lot of feedback and just observed that not as many people were coming in, they'd have the same questions, or they couldn't get in and they had the same questions. And they said, I wish I could just learn with you guys. I want to just learn with you guys like I do on the show. And Circle's going to give us a better container to facilitate the introduction of cohorts. We want to create, instead of just an occasional live course or recordings that you can buy and do at your own pace, we'll have that too. But we want to do a cohort style education experience where you and a bunch of friends can be put into a group learning environment that will work along with you. Instead of one time, see you later, bye, ask us a question, we'll have a specific container to take you through different phases, 0 to 60 of knowledge on all kinds of crypto related topics. So that's something that you can look forward to. Cohort signups will be coming soon. And to answer the question about free versus premium, we migrated every premium plan to one plan. Unless you're a legacy premium user who had OG access, there was a way long deprecated plan that we migrated over. But we did one premium plan. It's $29.99 a month, or you can get it for $2.99 annually for a discount. If that's something that you're upset about, kerfluffled about, let us know. We're very open to feedback, and this is a free community to join. You don't have to pay a dime to get access to the general chat, the public forums, to be in the community, to see the live events. Premium features are extra. And those are things you can learn about on the site. It just unlocks the kind of stuff that we can't scale to everyone If you wanted to book a one-on-one with Will or Alex or me, then you would get a discount as a premium member for doing that. If you wanted to get the PDF guides that we publish, the ebooks, the things like that, instead of buying them as one-offs, premium members get those for free. And the idea here is that instead of trying to differentiate those two tiers, we could probably provide a lot more value to a lot more people, because Circle will be an easier platform to distribute information on if we just migrate to one plan. So if you have been a premium user in the past, we know it's been frustrating to deal with Patreon, to deal with Discord, to activate your membership. We think this is going to be a lot better, and we want to hear your feedback. So don't fret about that.
Anyway.
What do you mean anyway? Was my commercial too long?
Yes.
It always is.
But it was very good information.
Working on it. That's kind. It's kind of you. It's okay. My ego's over it.
Well, hey guys, I have 10 minutes before I have to start to run. So there's two things that I want to tell people about. First of which is a Twitter personality that I think folks should potentially go and listen to, or give a follow if you are interested in understanding what a whale's experience is like in the market. And this gentleman's Twitter profile is called The White Whale. He's a member of the Rise Up community. So he's watches the shows. He follows us. He's in the Discord and the community and active and stuff, but in a very kind of nonchalant way. And he's just an audience member. But he recently started making a Twitter account called The White Whale. Now, he's big boy. He is big boy. He was the number one trader in volume in the month of June on MEXC.
And Hyperliquid.
And Hyperliquid. And I was going to say, I think it was something like 20 or 15% of the entire order book of Solana on Hyperliquid at one point. He's like, I might be overexposed. He's like, I might be over leveraged here. And the thing is he talks about his experience being a whale in this market. And he puts some calls out there and stuff, but he really doesn't do too much of that. Really, this channel is more so him talking about lessons he's learned being a whale in this space and just kind of understanding how the market is different for somebody in his position. And I think it's a fascinating window for anybody to look into to understand how the market is different for somebody when you have gigantic positions. And you can learn very different things about this market from someone like him. And, you know, like I said, his posts mostly aren't calls or stuff, but he'll say like, hey, I believe XYZ. He'll talk about his strategy. But I think the most valuable thing is he's very open about mistakes he's made and lessons he's learned being a whale. And it just provides a very different perspective that there aren't many people like him in the space that you can learn those kinds of things from. So I think
I don't know of any.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know of any other either. But so the White Whale on Twitter, new on Twitter, Rise Up member, community member, and definitely an interesting follow for sure, in my opinion.
Here's my question, Will. How do you know it's a man? Because this guy, if it's a guy, if I was trading in that kind of size, I would definitely pay a proxy. I'd be like, okay, your total job is to take all my meetings, take all my calls, or I'd buy a voice chat. I don't know.
My sexism at play.
Has he confessed? I'll have to dig through his Twitter and find out. The handle is at the White Whale HL. I sent the White Whale a message and said, you're going to have to remove the HL from your name because you don't just want to be bound by Hyperliquid. You need a whole ocean of liquidity. You know
that's why okay, that makes sense. I was wondering why the HL was at the end.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
The White Whale Hyperliquid, because they do a lot of volume over on Hyperliquid.
Do a lot of volume. My God.
Yeah, before we got on the stream, we were talking about it. Will was sharing his conversation with us, and Alex and I were just geeking out about the prospect of having someone on with an anonymizer. That would be
fun.
Yeah, I was like, hey, do you want to hop onto the show? They're like, maybe. I'm like, do you want a voice coder? They're like, I don't know if I need that. And I was like, so do you want a voice coder?
Can we do one anyway?
Yeah, please don't deny us this pleasure.
I change it. He comes on the show and his voice is just whale sounds through the night. And then I'm just like, and it's like,
transmissions with a beat.
Okay, Alex is just bleeding from his ears.
What was the other thing you wanted to share with us, Will?
The other thing is I want to open up a Pokemon Legends pack.
Oh my God! On the
air.
stream right now.
On the stream,
oh,
on air.
Dude,
You gotta
Let
get
me
a drink.
let me just get signed in
While he
here.
pulls this up, we're gonna let you know that this is a feature of Courtyard.io. They just launched a new app. We had them on the show 2 weeks ago, last week. We had them
Last
on the
week?
show recently
Time's weird.
when they launched their app. And I don't know if our discount code is still live, RiseUp15. Go to their site and try it. It works for every pack except Pokemon Legends packs, but they have created a phygital experience where you can buy digital packs beautifully represented that represent physical cards that they custody in a secure vault. They have an actual meaningful partnership with Brinks. They are the largest buyer of Pokemon cards in the world. If you've got graded cards, you can send them to them for custody. They will take them off your hands at 90% of the market rate. They've got a marketplace with 0 fees where you can trade them with other folks who might want to buy them. It's a cool solution. They've got comics coming soon, or comics are live
Comics
now.
are there. They're live.
Coins are coming soon.
Mhm.
And it's the future of collectibles, people.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
apparently those good friends.
I'm seeing some comments in TikTok of people going to the White Whale's Twitter page and being like, he made a Star Trek reference in. Poof. Just like, buy. I'm buying the White Whale Twitter page. Star Trek reference? This guy's the man or woman or whale, whatever. Poof, buy.
This guy's the whale. Yeah,
Damn,
I noticed that the White Whale is a literary reference to Herman Melville's Moby Dick.
Yeah, Moby Dick.
Whale that Captain Ahab is obsessed over and relentlessly chases, but which always eludes him is Moby Dick.
It's a very aesthetically pleasing Twitter page, if I do say so myself. I'm going to share my screen. I'm just going to go through Courtyard.
Perfect.
I'll unshare in case I have to put in my credit card information, but I don't think I have to. Because you can buy with USDC, but in my personal opinion, why do this with USDC when I can do this on a credit card and earn points? So, like, you know, I'll take the points. Thank you very much.
And here comes the
So-
assist on the screen share. If you're in
Here we
podcast,
are.
your chance.
Here we are in Courtyard. I don't know, we'll show the homepage again because the homepage is pretty. You have these, you know, vending machines here that are pretty. But I'm going to go to vending machines. I'm going to head to Pokemon.
Did you mention that this is not sponsored? You're just a giant nerd.
I like Pokemon. This is not sponsored anyway.
This is not sponsored, but it should
Well, we
be.
might need
It's
a
just
sponsorship
cool.
to cover Will's Pokemon bill.
Depending on whether or not this
Yeah,
pack is a
right.
dud.
I need this. So you have starter packs. I opened up one starter pack. I got a Jigglypuff. Then you have the Pokemon Pro pack, Pokemon Master pack, Platinum pack, Diamond pack, and then the Legends pack. So let's get this. All right, let me stop sharing real quick.
Why am I so nervous? I'm nervous
Why
for
am
you.
Why am I?
They had a little widget on the screen that talked about like the expected value. And last week or whenever, Nico told us that you're expected to get back whatever you spend, but there's a like slightly decreasing as you go up odds that it'll be a more and more valuable card. So this could be, you know, 20,000 to what's that slider say at the far end? I can't quite see. This could be
It's 40,000.
a $20,000 to $40,000 card that we are opening here.
I believe in you.
I hope so. Otherwise, worst case scenario, it's about 1,200, and it's still going to be a super beautiful, pretty card that we're going to appreciate and love because it's cardboard and it's pretty.
And my question is, are you going to keep it in their vault or are you going to redeem it? Redeem the token? For
I
the
don't know.
physical
I have no
itself?
idea. Sorry, my internet's a little slow right here.
Oh, here's the experience right here.
Yeah, baby. Show me what you got.
Drum roll provided by
Do we click to reveal now? Huh? Do we click to reveal now?
Or what? Put it on the shelf? Lock it up?
Yeah, right.
Here we go. It's a beautiful animation.
Ooh.
What are we looking at?
2005, one of these new Pokemon. It's a Suicune. I don't know how to say the new Pokemon's names, but it's one of them that's worth 1,400. It's a PSA 9, which is pretty damn good.
Woof.
It's a shiny, nice piece of cardboard, and we love it. 2005 Pokemon EX Unseen Forces number 115. Suicune. Oh my God, Suicune. I forget how to say it. I'm not good with the newer Pokemon. I like the old ones.
But I think everyone I know says Suicune.
Suicune. It's a hollow gold star PSA 9 mint.
Will, how much does what's the range of prices on the packs, like from bottom to this one?
1250 to 40,000. Oh wait,
No,
no, on
sorry.
the packs. Oh,
Yeah.
it's $25 for a starter pack up to what I just opened, which is 2,500.
There it goes.
Yep. And then here's the thing too: is I can sell this right now. I could share it on X. I could sell this and get 90% of the value. So this coin is actually worth a little bit more than this. This is about a $1,600 coin, $1,700. I said coin card, and I could sell it and get 90% of my value back, given back to me in USDC. And honestly, this isn't like if it was an OG 151 Pokemon, I would definitely keep it for sure and have it shipped to my house, absolutely, to join my card collection. But the newer generations, they're not necessarily for me. So I'm actually gonna sell this.
Dang.
I'm gonna get
Quick turnaround.
$1,353 back.
Write it off. I honestly,
Write it off,
this was a work.
Yeah.
This was a business.
This is a work
Honestly,
expense.
I can write this off.
I'm dead
You
serious.
see, no, I know that's absolutely. It's one of the reasons why I'm so willing to do this. But also, like, I have spent many thousands of dollars on Pokemon cards. So now that offer was accepted, and if I go to my profile page, oh nope, that's their mobile app that they're pushing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my internet is struggling right now. But anyway, if I go to my profile, you'll see that it's there in USDC. Oh, I have to log back in again. Anyway, just trust me, guys, it's there.
And what are some of the other card collections they have? I know Magic is not there yet, forthcoming, but I do believe they've got
They got
Top
sports.
Shop.
They got a lot of sports. They got
What's it got,
Pokemon.
V-Friends? Am I wrong?
I don't think they have V
I
Friends.
feel like I saw Gary V on their
Yeah.
socials, and maybe it was just like cross content.
Solem, now you can do it again.
Now you can do it again.
Now you can do it again. And hey, you know what? Now I have like $1,500 in USDC ready to be invested in the market. So thanks, Courtyard.
Yeah,
Oh,
very cool.
But anyway, guys, that's it. I have to get going.
Thank you for sharing that with us in your final moments, and we will catch you in Circle.
All right, cool. See you guys.
Bye for now, Will. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Will Watson. Kenneth Chisholm said he just spent $1,200 on a pack of Pokemon. No, he spent $2,500 on a single Pokemon card. There's a difference. If you've got a crypto question, don't hesitate to let us know. CJ, welcome from X. Everybody from YouTube, all the refugees from the other socials, welcome. This is still your place for helpful news, commentary, answers to your crypto questions, good jokes, words of wisdom. Alex,
You have the power.
while we were ripping a card or two, have you seen any of the flutters in the comments?
Earlier, by that I mean yesterday, there was a little bit of like follow-up conversation in the Discord after we talked about the ETFs and whether or not they're a net good or bad overall.
Yes,
And
yes,
kind
there
of
was.
things to consider if we're talking about other altcoins that are smaller that could get one, and how the ETF is kind of this cycle's, I don't know, it's this cycle's thing. It's like, okay, who's when ETF? Number one question. Did you have any? I think what was the final point that we almost disagreed on something yesterday, didn't we?
Oh,
about,
we were mostly disagreeing on the best way to deal with bad ideas and whether or not they exist.
Well, yeah.
You were talking
wrong
about the ETF,
that
though.
one.
I think we were talking about just some of the nuances of like how value accrues in the incentive model of like a crypto network. If the token price increases, the question was, does that benefit everyone? And your take was, especially like people who want to use the token, are they going to be able to get enough of it to do the things they want? And my take was, well, as the price of the token goes up, they're going to benefit from other efficiencies as well, like an increasingly secure network. They're going to benefit from like block space is mostly what determines the cost of transactions on the network. There's a lot of different things that affect whether or not price going up actually impacts the utility of a crypto token. And with ETH specifically, it's going to be very different than it is with HBAR or than it is with XRP or than it is with anything. So it's a very nuanced conversation, but I shared a resource to link to Bankless in our Discord. The Bankless podcast, for people who don't know, is much more Ethereum focused, and they tend to have a lot of guests on who are building the Ethereum protocol very actively or who are early investors in it, who just have some real I'll say level 3 takes on this stuff. I don't necessarily agree with everything they say, but I always learn. They're much deeper in the Ethereum community than I am. And if you want to hear like why somebody might be convinced that the price of ETH going higher is good for everyone, even people who use it, that would be the place to go.
Good recap.
Thank you. Did you want to take it further, or were you just looking for the recap?
Just looking for the recap, just because I thought it was interesting, and I think that we kind of right now we're in this phase wherein I think we ask for more institutional involvement, more like big company corporate involvement, just because we're kind of thinking like, oh well, all of this is an indication of good and it's going to push price higher. But the only reason that it would theoretically push price higher is because we all believe that it should be. But in reality, giant companies getting involved in stuff is usually not good for everyone else. And I just think we're seeing that now.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been here for a hot minute. What we just talked about, what have they been doing the whole time? Gaslighting everybody while they
accumulate,
try to front run. Yep. And then, they'll port over and move. This stuff is way too easy to move through. So just something to think about. Not always a good thing. Just getting an ETF is not necessarily, the best thing. And I guess my counterpoint was just that I don't think every cryptocurrency really wants one.
Two quick things, Alex, as we port away from this topic. I want to move to exit strategies. Gen X asked us if, as an investor in crypto, he needs one and if we could help him come up with one. So I know you've got some questions for that, but first we got to take a detour because Jackie in the comments says, Evan, did you help me with a crypto issue last night? And I have to say, you already got the response, but the answer is no. If anybody anywhere reaches out to you first directly, especially if they're luring you to a platform like WhatsApp or Telegram, that person is not the creator you think they are. If you see a creator that is doing that, it's, a video that says WhatsApp me, text me, Telegram me, that's not that real creator's account. I just talked to somebody yesterday in the comments who was saying, I know a creator who does this or that kind of scam with their people. I see them on live all the time. They said, should I expose them? And I said, no. You should verify that it's them because I bet it's not the creator you think it is. All of us have impersonators like this because just like Discord doesn't help us crack down on this scam, social media doesn't. So Jackie, stop talking to that person immediately. If you have sent them money, you need to disconnect those accounts, disconnect your wallets, and I would encourage you to look up the term pig butchering scam. We have a lot of resources on this. And there are a couple of good steps you can take to report it to the FBI, the CFTC, and your local authorities. But generally speaking, the best way to prevent these scams is just never to engage with somebody who reaches out to you first directly. We are never going to message you like that. We give you all the links to find us so that you can come connect with us in safe spaces where you can be sure that we are who we purport to be. Live environments like this one, the Circle community that we refer you to from our live show. And it's worth saying that wherever you're listening to us, these are our official accounts. And if you're maybe listening to us on a pirated bootleg, the place you would go to verify that is rumshq.com. Formerly the riseupmorningshow.com. Now it's Rums, RUMSHQ, like headquarters. Rise Up Morning Show headquarters, rumshq.com. Thank you, Jackie. I'm so sorry that happens, but we're working on it. And thanks, Jay Heat, for the support in the comments. Alex, anything to add? Or exit strategies? Okay. Take me somewhere else, but then we got to hit this exit strategy thing before we go. And I will get you out of here on time. Okay, good.
That's where I'm taking it. Let's talk exit strategies. Why am I smiling? Why am I excited? Because I'm about to make Evan. Evan knows.
Oh, no.
Evan knows.
Oh.
Christina's calling me out. Alex will never be on time. It's true. We're gonna do our best, and I'm still gonna be late. But we're gonna talk about exit strategies first. Okay. And I'm gonna make Evan look at my tax app. I got to stop calling it the tax app, but honestly, it's just funny. It's one big beautiful app. Okay. I'm gonna share. Wait till you see what I've added to it, though, Evan, because it's really getting out of hand. I have to say. All right,
here we go. Hold tight.
Okay.
Wait for me to. What am I doing? You're sharing it here, so the only screen share is on
Yep.
TikTok today. Here you go.
Christina says, please God, no. Yes, she just opens the show on her phone, and now she also has to look at the tax app.
Okay, now just be real visual with your language, because everybody in podcast land who's going to hear this is going to have absolutely no map for. So not only are we looking at the tax app again, but some people can't even look at it right now.
No worries. It's okay. I will be okay. So just pan over just a tiny bit to the preview window. That's the agent window. Okay. And don't worry about it. I'll read that color just looks terrible on your screen share. It's almost impossible to see. So I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should be.
And don't worry, we don't need to go through the entire thing because it's gotten expansive.
Hefty.
It's gotten hefty. But I will say this is pretty sweet. So I've organized the education hub right here, and check this out, dude. You got to see this part before we do the exit strategy. So I'm adding in these tutorials, and so like here's your first one: setting up a wallet. Dude. So you start the tutorial, and now you're at this like click through little spot with all of the tidbits and all the different pieces.
It says choose your wallet type, hot wallet, cold wallet. It's got like little bullet points about each. Examples. Oh my gosh.
You click through it.
Alex, this is so
the whole
great,
thing.
man.
Here's like an example. What does the seed phrase look like? Do's and don'ts. Someone go import this wallet because it's just a randomly generated one, but maybe it's a real wallet.
That would be cool. I hope you find some Bitcoin.
Do's and don'ts. Test, find the wallet address, how to find it, what to do with it, sending the test transaction, whole deal, good security checklist, all that good stuff. And then links out into which tutorials it recommends going to next. So like, or to other links inside of this thing, because there's like a whole where are we? There we go. Whole glossary with like hundreds of terms in it now, all separated by category. And for anyone curious, because I haven't talked about this in several hours.
Yeah.
This is mostly like an experiment in vibe coding. This isn't like a live website. There's a test version of it deployed, but it's not up to date yet. This is kind of just me trying to figure out how to build stuff using this agent is called Replit specifically. So I'm kind of just, as the kids say, vibe coding this crypto educational dashboard sort of thing. And then eventually it will be a actually live useful product that all of the premium members will get complete and total access for free. And then I think the glossary and the tutorial stuff, all that's going to be free. But there's some other like cool stuff like a tax planner, calculator, all that stuff. But the thing I was going to show you is that underneath the tools, we have a profit planner. And this is where you can visualize and customize an exit strategy. So if you're looking at, let's just say, I'll use myself as an example. So you enter in the currency that you're looking to come up with a plan for. Come on, CoinGecko. Don't fail me now.
Using that free API.
Using that free API. Well, it's thinking we can finish up the rest of this. So let's just say we have 15 SOL. You come up with whatever your average cost basis is. Let's say 140. And then you come on down here and you can pick one of two at this point. So the first one is ladder out. That's much simpler. That's kind of just like, hey, at different increases, I'm going to sell some of my position to ladder myself out. Dollar cost average in, dollar cost average out on whatever. There's a couple different options. So like if you were to say balanced, and it's not going to, here we go. What's the price right now? 170?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't actually know if that's the price, but for the purpose of this example, it's the price.
That's probably about right. 167. Okay, close enough. So then over here, Evan, if you pan over just a tiny bit to there we go. So it would show you your current position status, what profit or loss you're currently in. And then down here, it has your profit taking. Let me see if I can get in there a little bit more.
Go for it.
Here it's got your profit taking levels. So level 1 would be your first sell at a plus 30% gain, and you're going to be selling a piece of your position, which would be at a target price of 182. you'd be selling 4.9, you'd make a couple $100, and then kind of just continues on. Now, if you don't want to do that and you are more interested in keeping the position but trying to take advantage of the volatility, I added a swing trade option. So you would say, okay, I would actually rather swing trade this thing and try to kind of conceptualize and visualize what this looks like. So let's just say, okay, I've got $2,500 on the side. That's in USD, but if you have a different fiat currency that you use, there's some options there. I'll just leave it at 1515 and 2030. So basically what you could do here is set your dip threshold, which would be, I want to buy when the price dips at least this much. So, maybe you only are looking to scoop up a 10% discount, or you want to every 10%. And then I want to sell every time it goes up at least 15%. And every time it dips, I'm going to buy with a quarter of my cash reserve. And every time it pumps, I'm going to sell 30% of my active sold position. So you're being a little more aggressive. This is how I am right now. More aggressive on selling than I am on buying. And okay, generate. So then over here, it gives you this readout of what that position looks like. So current sold balance, current USD reserve, your next buy price, which would be a 10% dip from here, would be at 150. And your next sell price at a 15% pump from here would be 192.22. And then you can actually, let me see if I can fit this whole thing on the screen. You can move these to see like what it looks like if you wanted to adjust that. So, okay, what if I actually only want to buy when it dips 20%? Okay, well, that would be 133. And I want to buy with, only 15% of my cash reserve. How much is that going to be? And it'll read that out right here. You'd be buying 2.8 sold for $375. Okay, cool. Sell. Actually want to wait until it pumps 30%. You slide that up. 217.30. I'm going to sell a quarter. So you can kind of play with this and see what it looks like. And I need to add another level so you can kind of conceptualize like the in and out of the swing trade and like how that money stacks up over time if you're taking advantage of even just like little 5% swings. Just because, where else do you really get that sort of thing? That's one of the things I'm constantly trying to communicate to people is the volatility can be your friend, especially if you are able to build some sort of long-term conviction in an asset that you don't think is going anywhere, that you think is sticking around. That's why I use Solana for this, just because if I miss out on a pump, I'm not worried about keeping this one. I don't think it's going to zero. It's one that I have more faith in long-term. So if I, miss time a top or a bottom because I don't really know what I'm doing, I'm just sort of vibing over here, then I wouldn't be too upset about that. So that's kind of the goal. But this is the way that I would try to visualize your plan for an exit strategy, or just use this as an impetus to start to think about it, even if you've never thought about it before. And again, the goal is really, I'm holding this volatile asset and I'm just watching it on a regular basis go up 10%, down 10%, up 10%, down 10%, up 10%, down 10%. There's no reason that you can't participate in that. Now, what it does is it layers risk. It adds risk. So it's riskier to start buying and selling than it is to just hold it. It's risky to hold it, but it's riskier to try to do a trade system kind of like this. So that's sort of why I wanted to put this tool out there to try to help visualize it, come up with a plan, because it's my number one piece of advice if you're going to try something like this is to set rules and then stick to them. Just because it's very easy to get in your own head or make mistakes or do whatever.
That's something,
and it's hard to keep track of it.
That's something that I have learned observing the white whale, whom we mentioned earlier, is they talk a lot about having rules, sticking to them, and then when you don't stick to them, the cost you pay, they call it, is tuition.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sometimes it's expensive.
So for everyone asking and saying nice things about this, I really appreciate it. I've spent a lot of time on it. It's not live yet, but I will share the link. I'll have a test link that I'll drop in Circle. Actually, later today, I'll upload the newest version of this to the test website. So it is live. This tool is like live, but it has a real wonky URL because I'm not like paying for a custom domain on it or anything like that yet. But I will share it in the Circle, and then you can go through and And actually, it would be helpful to start doing that because there's a ton of issues, right? Like this thing's full of bugs, and I'm working on it.
And Christina and I are sick of being the ones who got to test it.
You're not escaping it. You got no choice.
We also had a question. How soon would something like this, Alex, be able to integrate with a private key, do you think? Like an agentic mode? Or with an exchange that I already use? I imagine the answer is it'd be tough to integrate with Coinbase because they probably have a lot of stuff on their end they'd have to do. But probably GPT or something will have a plugin, don't you think, sometime that you could do that?
Yeah.
And there are people building products like that, but
the short answer is you can do that now. I wouldn't because like I said, I'm building this thing with an AI tool. I don't know enough about this to like send something live that I would be concerned about the security of. So like this tool, you cannot enter. You don't even have the option to enter your personal information because I'm not an engineer. I would never like build and release a tool that collected anyone's information if I didn't know what I was doing enough. So if we got to that point, I'd have to hire a security expert to do that whole thing. But I mean, you could do that now. You could totally add a feature to this thing wherein you could connect a wallet and use a tool here to scrape like the transactions out of that wallet. The closest I have now is you can enter a public wallet address and it will like take the, publicly readable transactions of a specific type just from the blockchain explorer. But all those APIs I have to pay for, so they're not like turned on. But I mean, really, the goal is like one, just build a tool that I wish I had. And correct me if I'm wrong, Evan, but one of the most common questions is just kind of trying to wrap your head around this idea of taking profit. What does that mean? And building some sort of exit strategy. What does that look like?
Yep.
How do I build one? And so I figured a customizable tool where you can just drag and drop numbers around and just see what they look like is probably the best way to do it. Something super interactive. And then what I want to do next on that same page is let it say like, okay, hit a generate button and just have it like write you a paragraph that describes to you like what the process would look like if you were to execute this strategy.
Yeah, the next step would be
that as like a little sticky note.
It'd be great to combine that tool with your like learning widget where you say, I use this exchange or this wallet and this is my asset. And it says, okay, great. Here's your plan. Go to Coinbase, tap settings, tap Coinbase advanced, tap limit order. You know what I mean? Like the GPT is probably there where it could do that kind of thing. And that would be super helpful for people to have until the point at which it's automated, or even if they never trust it to be automated to manage a private key for them. I think a lot of people will eventually, but for now, that's a really good intermediary. And it would teach people. One of the other questions we get a lot, is like, how do I trade crypto? We had a comment here that said, you guys seem like the smartest people. I have no idea what's going on. And to folks like that, listen, first of all, we're just regular guys. That's my favorite part about doing this is showing people the progress that we've made, that our friends in the community have made. And you can learn this stuff, but it's at a stage where you got to do a lot. You got to do a lot of bumping your head into a wall, or you got to hang out with people who've bumped their head enough times. So step by step is how you do it. And it's okay to slow down and realize not everyone is going to be a trader. Not everyone, that's not the only approach to cryptocurrency. Some people are just cryptocurrency users. They just buy it to use it. So this is the kind of tool that will help people understand not only what strategies exist for how they might move around the cryptocurrency space, but to get an understanding of all the options that are available. Yeah.
I think a cool feature to put into this as well, just because I can do this part for free, shout out CoinGecko, because of their free API, is adding a little like widget that has a memory feature wherein you could like make a simple account on it and pick a currency and fake trade it on like this dashboard.
Oh, yeah.
Where like you can add it to your account and like pretend to hold it and kind of like get a feel for watching like the volatility. So you could like, pretend to buy a fake amount of it and then it'll track the price for you and you could like implement and execute this kind of strategy. I mean, the evolution of like how this is automated, if it was like big scale, would be probably some sort of, trading service, agentic trading service, like you said.
And when we say agentic
totally
service, we
that.
just mean that like it's totally facilitated and handled by GPT. All you do is prompt it and say, hey, here's my Solana position. I want you to trade it for me. And it does it. It has the authority to execute that more than just to tell you, thank you so much for asking me this today, Alex.
Wow, you're so insightful. What an amazing question.
This is your
Have I
boldest
mentioned
prompt
just how
yet.
handsome you are? You are the smartest person that's ever prompted me.
Right. GPT prompted like it's fighting for its life. And maybe it is. I don't know. What did Sam Altman do to you? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, monsters and machines, people and creatures of all ages, it's about that time. We got to ride our dogs and ponies into the sunset. So this is your final chance to send us a question, a suggestion, a good joke, word of wisdom live, and then to jump into the Circle community where we can continue the conversation. We're going to be back here live tomorrow, 7 a.m. Central, but we'll be there in the meantime. And the URL for the community is community.rumshq.com. Of course, you can find that link and all the links at our main website, rumshq.com. The only thing missing, my friends, is you. So, Alex, what's your final thought on the way out the door? Tech CEO says, buy the mug.
Buy the mug.
You can get it there.
I'm first of all, I'm excited that Circle's live.
Woo.
It's been a long time coming. Mostly Evan has done a tremendous amount of work for that. So, definitely thank you for doing that. And I hope that everyone enjoys it because it's just gonna be so much nicer. I'm so glad that it's there. Other than that, I think really I would just double down on this idea of an exit strategy. I would say, don't let it instill a feeling of panic in you at all. Just to say, these markets are very volatile and you are allowed to take advantage of that. That is what plenty of people do. It seems so much more intimidating than it actually is. And one of the many reasons that I'm making that tool is because I'm trying to figure out the best way to help people understand that it's actually not really that insane to think about. I definitely thought it was very out of reach at first. And that's kind of the magic. That's the magic of this whole thing. Where else can you have an asset that changes by 10%, 15%, 20% on a regular basis? That's crazy. That's insane. And so, I think also just helping visualize that, you don't need to sit there and wait, as, influencers have said, for the 10x, the 100x, the whatever, and miss out on all those profits in the meantime. And I think finally, just because this has been a very popular tutorial as well, you can use stuff like this method to rescue an underwater position, which is pretty sweet. Because of the nature of that volatility, even if you bought something at $100 and now it's just ranging at 30, but it's going up to 45 and then down to 28 and then up to 36 and down to 27, whatever, back up to 40, you can use this method to rescue that position, even if the thing never gets back to 100, because of the nature of volatility. And it's just very hard to visualize that without writing it out. So I had to write it out. So now I've vibe coded it out. So I appreciate any time you guys let me prattle on through my tax app.
It's cool, man. It's very cool. And if you want to learn how to do that, I know that Alex is going to have an updated PDF guide about vibe coding your future app sometime soon.
Yeah. I've got to do one of those because this thing is
going to
cool.
happen. Yeah.
Everybody should be messing with this. I've spent, I think, less than $30 so far on that entire thing. And that's hours and hours and hours of back and forth prompting with this agent and deploying it and running some light storage and stuff like that. It's $26 or $27. That's crazy.
It's nuts. Okay, you're done.
It would have. 3 years ago, it would have cost thousands of dollars to do that.
Alex, I am trying to give
That's
you.
Nuts.
I am trying to give you an exit so you can get out of here on time. Christina and I are texting back and forth.
Evan, now I'm late. God damn it.
My final thought is going to be, thank you, Alex, for sharing your cool app with us. You can check it out inside Circle when you post the link there. And don't worry, to the commenters who question whether or not we're leaving TikTok, no, we're not leaving any socials. No. We are expanding our social presence with Circle. And Circle's role will be the place we aggregate everyone. You discover us on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and TikTok, but
we're
then
not going anywhere.
You can come hang out with us 24/7 in the Circle community. There's always going to be a free place for people who want to learn with us to do it. That's it. And if you don't like Circle, like I appreciate the kind words. It was a lot of work, and we have all worked really hard to make this happen. If we find that it's not the perfect fit, I may cry, but
Evan will cry.
But I will absolutely commit myself to
if we find that it's not the perfect fit, you're all going to stay there for at least a year.
Yeah, for at least a year, and you're going to like it. But no, we'll find the perfect fit. And when it happens, we will figure it out together.
If you have any complaints, keep it to yourself. I will absolutely die on this.
Okay, we got to go. Thank you, my friends, for being the very best part of what we do. We'll catch you right back here tomorrow, and we'll see you in the Circle community. Get all the links at rumshq.com. Until next time, everybody stay safe. Be well, my friends. Rise up.